What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel, and welcome back to another video. I just got done watching the Foxwoods Resorts Casino 301 from New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and I have to say, I thought today's race was, well, not a barn burner race at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. I think today's race was really solid. There were so many incredible battles in this race, especially throughout Stage 1, that battle between Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski, and Ryan Blaney. Those three guys put on a really good show at the start of this race. And it was just, honestly, the racing here, especially over the last years in New Hampshire Motor Speedway, has gotten so much better. And the race today, I thought it was a very good race. Now, let's get into some of the storylines in this race and talk about it. So, a lot of playoff drivers who are either on the bubble, who are in the playoffs currently at the moment, actually ended up having trouble in this race. The first one being Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch was running 4th at a time when his tire cut down. Well, I think he's running 4th at the time. His tire cut down. He went up into the outside wall. He would actually finish last and score only 1 point in this race. Now he's only currently 95 points above the cutoff line. He still has a pretty good cushion at this moment, but that could come into play, and there's not a lot of tracks where I feel confident about Kyle Busch. He's not really shown speed this year, and this still continues to be the worst season for Kyle Busch in his career, and he's just not having a very good year this year. Other big stories happened in this race. Eric Jones. Eric Jones had a tire, I believe, an uncontrolled tire, if I'm not mistaken, or went through too many boxes. He would get a 1-lap penalty, but he would be able to rebound back in this race. And another big story in Stage 1 would be that Jimmie Johnson would get kind of crowded down by Clint Bowyer. Clint Bowyer had issues with William Byron earlier in the race, but Jimmie Johnson got, I'm really not going to say it was intentional what Clint did, but I was not happy with Clint Bowyer when it happened. But now going back to it, I'm not as mad about Clint about the situation. But Clint kind of came down on him. I don't think he saw that Jimmie was there. And he kind of pushed Jimmie and took Jimmie out. Jimmie was running 6th at a time. But Jimmie would really honestly have kind of a rebounding day as well. Jimmie finished, I believe, 12th in this race, which I know that's not a great finish, but a really good recovery for Jimmie Johnson coming home with a 12th place finish. And then Matt Kenseth in this race, he had brought out 3 cautions in this race. He's had 3 times where he had a tire go down, he spun out, and then 2 later cautions. He would finish 36th in race. Matt just had one of the worst race days of, honestly, of his career. 3 times. The 3rd time was a charm, basically, for him to go behind the wall. Kenseth finished 36th. Not a great day for Matt Kenseth. A driver who was having a really good day in this race, Christopher Bell. Christopher Bell had, honestly, a top 5 run going in this race. He was doing phenomenal out there on the racetrack. But unfortunately for Christopher Bell, he would have a tie. I think he got wheel hopped the corner, I believe, and he spun out in turn number 1, which would unfortunately kind of kill his race. And then he had a tire go down late in this race. I think he finished 29th, 2 laps down, which was a great shame. So those are really some of the main stories of the drivers who had problems in this race. Let's talk a little bit more about the race in general. So this race was the Brad Keselowski and Denny Hamlin show. It was either going to be one of those two who was today going to score the victory. It seemed like Brad Keselowski could take off on the restarts and then Hamlin would reel him back in. But in Stage 2, Brad Keselowski just started charging up. Like, I think it was in 5th or 6th at one point of the restart. And then he charged all the way back up the lead past Denny Hamlin and just took off with the race lead. And there really was nothing that Hamlin could do in this race. Like I said, those were the 2 best cars in this race. But Brad Keselowski, I still think, was the clear best car in this race, and there was really no contest. And Brad Keselowski, by the way, would end up winning this race. It would, of course, would come down to fuel mileage in this race, because we didn't know if guys were going to make it, but everyone made it to the line. Kevin Harvick really didn't have the best day as well. I think he came down to kind of pitted off sequence. He did rebound, however, to top, I think he got 5th in this race, which that's a really good run for Harvick. Good job by Kevin Harvick there. Brad Keselowski would really kind of not hold off Hamlin, but Hamlin was really starting to close that gap back in. But Brad Keselowski would hold off Denny Hamlin and score his 3rd win of the year, makes a statement as one of the drivers contending for the championship. It makes a statement about possibly re-signing with Team Penske, because there's a really good chance that he could end up re-signing with Team Penske for 2021. So Brad Keselowski was able to win his 3rd race of the year, and I have to say that this is the first race where I really think he deserved to win. He earned the win today. He got kind of lucky at Charlotte and got lucky at Bristol. This race had the best car, straight up, deserved the win today, and I'm really glad Brad Keselowski won the race today. Third win of the year. I believe now he's past Fireball Roberts on the all-times win list. It makes a big statement for himself. So congratulations to Brad Keselowski on winning today's race. Let's go through the race results. So Brad Keselowski won. Denny Hamlin finished his second. Mark Truex Jr. finished his third. Kind of had a rebound day for himself. He had an uncontrolled tire violation. He would end up going to the rear of the field, but he rebounds to a third place finish. Great run for Mark Truex Jr. Needs days like that. Joey Logano finished his fourth. Kevin Harvick finished his fifth. No surprise there. Matt DiBenedetto finished sixth. Put together a really solid race. Another really solid race. I think he had a good finish last race as well. Comes home with a sixth place finish. Eric Almirola finished his seventh. Almirola continues his top 10 streak. 9 straight race for him, finishing the top 10. Great run there. Cole Custer, the rookie, put together a really solid race as well. Finishes 8th. Chase Elliott really wasn't that great as well. Hendrick in general really wasn't great in the first half of this race. But as the race went on, they just started getting their stuff together, and they were putting up together, especially William Byron. William Byron was having a really solid day, but I don't think he finished that well. And Chase Elliott finished 9th. Tyler Reddick finished his 10th as a rookie. Was nowhere to be seen most of the day. Finished his 10th in the race. Good job for Tyler Reddick. William Byron finished his 11th. Jimmy Johnson finished his 12th. Rebounds to a decent finish. Just needs to have kind of finishes like this, and he'll be in a better position. Austin Dillon finished his 13th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 14th. Alex Bowman 15th. Ryan Preece 16th. Solid overall day for the JT Doherty boys after finishing 4 straight races with one of their drivers finishing last. They rebounded to two top 20 runs. Not surprised Ryan Preece did well, but Ricky Stenhouse Jr. also both really good runs that day. Kurt Busch finished his 17th. Clint Boyer finished his 18th. Michael McDowell finished his 19th. And Ryan Blaney, who had a top 5 car a lot of this race, comes home with a 20th place finish, which is a really great champ because Blaney had a pretty good run going today. Ryan Newman 21st, Ty Dillon 22nd. Bubba Wallace finishes 23rd. 24th goes Eric Jones. Eric Jones is after his tire went down and had his penalty. Really never recovered. Chris Buescher finishes 26th. Daniel Suarez 26th. Brendan Poole 27th. Christopher Bell finishes 28th. 29th J.J. Yeley. And James Davison finishes 30th. Garrett Smithley 31st. Quinn Houff 32nd. 33rd Timmy Hill. 34th Joey Gase. 35th Corey LaJoie. 36th John Nemechek. John Nemechek had a tire go down at the start of stage number 3, which killed this race. He was running a lot of this race kind of in the lower teens, running around that 20th place position. He really was never able to run really well up in the front. Matt Kenseth finished his 37th, and Kyle Busch finished his last in 38th place. Now let's talk a little bit about the playoff buffer here as well. The playoff buffer has kind of changed in a sense. Now there are some changes. Kyle Busch is pretty much locked, is still not fully locked in. He's 95 points good. That's one of the big changes. Eric Jones is now 31 points below the cutoff line at this current moment. He's got a lot of ground to make up. Jimmy Johnson is now 22 points below the cutoff line, 22 or 23 points below the cutoff line. He's around that margin, and Tyler Reddick is 21 points below the cutoff line. The playoffs are going to start getting really, really close. I think at this finish with a playoff run in the playoff bubble is going to get really, really tight. I think it's going to be a fantastic run for this championship and a fantastic finish to the playoffs because who knows who's going to make it. And there's plenty of drivers who blow the cutoff line. No one who's not locked, in my opinion, no one who's not locked in right now is safe currently at the moment. As anything could change at any particular moment. We still have 6 races left. We're going to Michigan for a doubleheader next week. But let's talk a little bit more about the race here. Honestly, the last years in New Hampshire have been really, really solid. I thought, the first half of the race was really, really, really good. I thought the race, they put on a fantastic racing for the first half of this race. Honestly, the second half of this race kind of was dead. It wasn't as good. So the first half was really good. The restart of stage 3 was really, really solid. But then the rest of the race, because field did come into place, that was interesting to know. But the race was really good in my opinion. Let's just say that. So honestly, I'm going to give this race a 7.5 out of 10. Again, I wish there was a little bit more in this race, but honestly, the Gen 6 car at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, especially over the last couple years, especially with the PJ1 grip, I think that's really what did help this race be better than what it was going to be. I thought it made the race a lot better, and tires were an issue once again in this race for like the 10th week in a row or whatever, but yeah. Honestly, really good race today. A solid race in my opinion. 7.5 out of 10. So yeah, we're going to Michigan next week for a doubleheader. Hopefully the race is pretty good. I mean, the last time we went to a 2-mile track, which was Auto Club, we actually put on a solid race. But hopefully that doesn't change. We get some really good races because overall 2020 has been a good year. Not for Kyle Busch, of course. Kyle Busch has been struggling. But yeah, once again, congratulations to Brad Keselowski on scoring his 3rd win of the year. So yeah, that is my race review from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Turn notifications on so you'll be notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Links in the description below for that. And comment your thoughts on today's race. What did you think of tonight's race? Let me know in the comments below. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video. And I will see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.